So to make it simple then, I've netted the cash flows at the end of year 1, at the end of year 2, and then at the end of year 3. Then we have 1,000 coming in at the end of the asset's life as it's being sold. So now that's one way to formulate the cash flows. Another way is a timeline. And so let's take that same information and plot it on a timeline. This is the way you'll probably solve the FE problems. We draw a timeline like this. It's always a good idea in a complicated situation to have an actual just picture of the cash flows. Makes it a lot easier to get a handle of what the heck is going on. So again, this is time 0. This is the end of year 1, end of year 2, and end of year 3. And we figured out that we had a purchase of the asset for $5,000 in my example at the start. So that's at time 0, negative, because the cash is going out. At the end of year 1, we had cash in through the savings and cash out through maintenance expense, but they netted to $150 positive. So on a timeline, we're going to show that as an up arrow. This is a down arrow, cash out. An up arrow, $150 represents cash in at the end of each year. If you wanted to plot each of these cash flows separately, we would have a down arrow of $350 and an up arrow of $500, right? So those cash flows are happening at the same time. So alternatively, you could plot a down arrow for $350 out, and then here we had savings of $500 in. So together those net to be the 150 net cash flow in. At the end of year 3 then, we also sold the asset, so we had an additional cash flow of $1,000 cash coming in. So again, we can net those and say we had net $1,150 cash in at the end of year 3. If there were disposal costs, that would be a down arrow showing cash out, and again, we could net them with any other positive cash flow at that time. So that's the first step in solving FE problems, is look at the cash flows. When is the cash going out? When is the cash coming in? Plotted on a timeline like this.